What's up, everyone? It's Alex. This is going to be Aliya's Life episode 2. This is a little series I'm doing where I'm talking about my daughter and kind of the journey I've gone through with her in learning about and dealing with the fact that she has Down syndrome and what an impact that's played on my life. So for all you motorcycle people that watch me, if you're not interested, totally cool, you get a pass. Check out the next one. For everyone else, thanks for coming along for the ride. Let's do this. So it's kind of cold out here right now, and it's actually kind of spitting snow a little bit, but it's really pretty here, and this is kind of a beautiful subject I'm talking about, so I figured I would just deal with it and be cold and shoot this right here, okay? We're at the lovely Little Marrowbone Lake. And there's like geese and stuff. I don't know if you guys can see this. There's the wildlife. Anyways, when I left you guys last time, we had just found out that Aliya would be born with Down syndrome. And I had just gone through the process, or we had just gone through the process of deciding whether or not to terminate the pregnancy or keep the baby. Obviously, we decided to keep the baby. So then right after that, the very next thing that we had to go through was really learning, like, what is Down syndrome really? Like, what does that really mean? What are we in for? And growing up, I never really fully understood Down syndrome, or actually a lot of developmental disabilities, to be honest with you. Like, I always thought that someone with Down syndrome, they were just missing something, and something was just really wrong with them. So being the researcher that I am, whenever I don't know something about a subject and I find out that it's going to greatly impact me, the first thing I do is just start researching the absolute crap out of it, okay? I look up everything I can, I just start reading stuff, so I had to go learn what Down syndrome really is and how it can really affect me. And it didn't take me very long for reading to figure out that Down syndrome actually doesn't mean there's anything missing from the person at all. They actually have something extra. They actually have an extra copy of a chromosome that most of us don't have, aka trisomy 21. So then I had to figure out, okay, so what does that mean? What's going to be different about this baby? And what am I going to have to deal with, or what are we really in for? So I start looking into it, and I'm reading up on it. Family members are reading up on it. Mandy's reading up on it. We come to find out that trisomy 21, or Down syndrome, actually has a wide range of different effects and different degrees of effects and different levels of developmental delay. Most of it being developmental delay, but they can also have a lot of little physical issues too. Especially heart-related issues. Heart-related issues are big with Down syndrome. And Aliya did end up having a heart-related issue, but we'll get to that later. I'll leave that little cliffhanger to kind of keep you guys on the edge of your seats and in suspense for the whole series. So it turned out through all the research that Down syndrome can have a wide range of effects, a lot of different developmental delays, and a lot of different little physical quirks and things to it. There's nothing set in stone. Every case is a little bit different, and they're all of differing degrees. So that immediately made me feel a lot better, because it's like, man, there's no telling what we're in for. We might as well just be along for the ride and love our baby and do what we got to do. Through the next few prenatal appointments and the next couple of ultrasounds, they did find a couple of things ahead of time that we kind of already knew would be little things. We already knew that she was going to have a little bit of a deal with her hands and her fingers. Something called clinodactyly, I think is what it was. Don't hurt me if I mispronounce that whatsoever. We also knew from ultrasounds that she would have a little bit of flatness probably to the back of her head, but no idea how severe it would be ahead of time. Big point is we started doing a lot of research and trying to really figure out what Down syndrome truly was. And we figured out pretty quickly that just because someone has Down syndrome doesn't mean they're really missing anything or there's anything just horribly wrong with them. It's just different. It means they have an extra copy of a chromosome, and that can cause developmental delays, it can cause some physical problems, it can cause some speech problems, it can cause a wide array of all kind of things. Most of these things are very easily helped and easily corrected with some therapy and with understanding and support from family. So the more and more we researched what Down syndrome really was and what we were really in for, the less and less we were really worried about having this child. And the more and more we kind of got comfortable with just, hey, we're going to have a child that's going to be a little bit different, and we just need to do what we need to do to help her be the best person she could possibly be, and we're just going to enjoy the crap out of our child. So if you're going through the same thing and you're about to have a kid with some form of disability or some form of developmental deal or just anything whatsoever, don't be so scared about it. A lot of these things can cause a different family situation or a different upbringing situation or just a different whatever, but they're not necessarily bad. A lot of these things are things that make someone different and unique, and sometimes these people end up being just incredibly beautiful people because of the fact that they're different and unique, and because of the fact that they don't deal with a lot of the same petty bullshit that the rest of us do just because their mind works different or their attitude is different. So whatever you got ahead of you, just meet it head on and understand that life doesn't always fit into the same neat little box as everything else around you. And a lot of times having a different life or having a different child or a different family member or a different situation or a different whatever can add even more spice and value to your life and can make it even better. I mean, I would not trade my daughter for the world at this point. And when we found out, we were scared as crap. And we didn't know. I didn't know shit about Down syndrome. I grew up thinking that Down syndrome was just this terrible freaking thing, and somebody with Down syndrome would never have a normal life, or it's not true at all. It's not true in any way, shape, or form. My daughter's wonderful. So that's it for today, guys. It's cold. I'll catch you in the next one. Sometime in the next couple of episodes, I may actually let you guys meet the star of the show. So stay tuned for that and see if I can pull that off, okay? I'm Alex. Thanks for watching. Peace. And just as a side note, look how freaking gorgeous it is out here.